Just what are your preliminary thoughts on Rutgers here this weekend, and just what have you seen from them through their 15, 16 games of the year?
Power arms. Friday's guy's going to touch 101 miles an hour. He's a redshirt freshman, and he's only 6'6", 240. He's a monster. Their next two arms are good young arms. Going to be 93 to 95 mile an hour arms that have really good stuff. They have a bullpen piece or three that are really good, and so we're going to need to break those guys down.
Kind of a slow start to them offensively. Trevor Collins, I think he's at 322, 10 doubles. Just what have you seen from him?
He's steady and consistent, right? Their outfield, I think Bonds' nephew or relative in some level plays center field for him, and he's a 6'5", 230-pound type guy. He looks like one heck of an athlete, very good player. Their outfield all have plus speed. They're going to be able to run down fly balls out in that outfield, maybe as good as we've seen at PK Park. So it'll be a challenge.
You mentioned on Sunday you were going to get together with the coaches, kind of come up with a plan for this offensively this week. Just what kind of was the plan, if you're willing to go into it, and just.
Yeah, I won't go into exactly the details of it, but it's really around being more consistent, right? So, when you see the really exciting offense that everybody loves to see, and then you see, it wane, you're just looking for a balance. You're looking for some consistencies, and there's some things that we were able to identify and address clearly that should be able to help our offense, and specifically our consistency of our swings, be able to help have a more consistent offense.
Two on the week, just after going through film and watching it, what were some of the kind of the takeaways that you had from either side of the ball?
I want to refrain from being too grumpy. I mean, because we're waking up this week and we're in the top 10 in the country, and that's a good thing, right? And so to be grumpy at that point in time would be silly, but we just feel, I think, as a ball club that we haven't played our best. We're still where we are, which is great. We feel like we've got a ton of room for improvement, and I think obviously when this team's clicking, it's an awfully fun team to watch, and equally as frustrating when when we see the other. We'd love to be able to kind of get into the clear with some of these issues and start seeing our best play. And so through roughly 20 games, that's where we're at, and we've got a pretty good chunk in front of us.
What does that say about the potential of this club, where you're still a top 10 team and you feel like you haven't played your best baseball yet?
It says just that, right? It says just that. We've got a chance to be a really good club.
Paul Clark won Big Ten Pitcher of the Week. Yeah. Did you get to break the news to him?
I let Coach Hawk do that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm excited for Colin, but Coach Hawk's our pitching coach. He's doing a marvelous job. The thing that's probably taking the most time when it comes to the pitching is you got a bunch of guys out there pitching that have ability, clearly have a lot of ability, but yet you don't have guys that have All-American save totals or established roles from previous years so much. Widespread, only in a guy or two. With Grayson, you got a little bit of that, and then other than that, it starts getting a little bit sporadic, and you start saying, wow. You don't have a bunch of guys that have a proven track record of success. So it takes a little time to kind of sort through who's going to be the guys that really rise to the occasion during the go time of the season, which is now. And I think now through the first part of the season, we've got enough information where we can pitch the guys that have excelled, and maybe some of the guys that have scuffled. They probably need to find their way and some other opportunities outside of the conference.
Any progress update on Drew Smith, Parker Stinson?
No, they're day to day, and I'm excited to see them play again when they get back out there. It's going to be awesome.
What have you liked from Grayson's improvement? 6 runs against Columbia, 2 runs against USC, and then 0 against Minnesota. What have you seen from that?
Trending up. He's commanding the ball better, and when he commands the ball, I don't know. When he first came back from Christmas break, I've been a widespread advocate that you're very vocal about the amount of time leading into the season. I don't think it's enough. Major League Baseball has it right when they have a pretty thick spring training time, and for us to come back straight out of the Christmas break and at the very start of January, and then you get basically a 6-week ramp-up period to be ready to go for day one of the season, it's too short. It's too short for pitching buildup, and for those kids to really be geared up and ready to go, regardless of which conference you're coaching in. I think coaches across the board would agree on that statement, and I think Major League Baseball has a pretty good feel and handle on that. And even them, they still see their injuries, like you just saw Garrett Cole, maybe one of the best, if not the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, go down with an injury, and it's partially due to that ramp-up period right there. That's where all the injuries occur.
Speaking of pitching ramp up, I think we saw Toby Twist throwing some kind of a bullpen on Sunday there during the rain delay. Just how's he doing, and is that still kind of a couple weeks ago you said maybe a month, 6 weeks away? Is that still kind of the timeline?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's been throwing bullpens. He's trending in the right direction. He hasn't had any setbacks, so hopefully we can stay on that course.
Carter has had a tough couple games here. I think he was hitting .419 after the midweek going into USC, and then down under 340 now. Still a really good average, but what are some of the struggles that you've seen from him? How do you try to correct that?
I won't go too much into that. I'm pleased that his defense has still been rock solid. He changes the games so much for us defensively. He makes plays that the common fan just kind of write in their scorebook a 5-3 or a 5-4-3 put out or whatever, and really hard plays. The guy's really a good defender. He's our best defender, and to have him in the lineup producing with a high average or run totals or RBIs is just a bonus.